Knicks and Bruises, we back with episode number 19. I got my guy in the building, DrugzOnly, the creator of the NBK Intro. Drugs, what's
What's
good?
up? Yo, what up? What up? What up? Yo, what up,
Um,
man? What up, Knicks family? What up, man? Knicks and Bruises. Tony Crow, thanks for having me on here, man. Let's go. Let's get it. Drugs on.
it's been a long time. We talked about getting you on here early, and we finally made it
That's a
happen.
fact.
So salute. You want to start off and maybe
Fact.
give these guys some of your background, maybe where you when you became a Knicks fan, how long you've been a
Oh yeah,
Knicks
yeah.
fan, all that.
All right. So for me, I'm coming from the Bronx, New York. If y'all don't know, in case y'all ain't know, I'm born and raised Bronx, BX, throw your X up. Feel me? Um, Growing up, right, we was all Knicks fans. Like my whole neighborhood, everybody, we was all Knicks fans. So that's what got me started. Like when I used to play ball and shit, they used to call me John Starks. You know what I'm saying? My jumper was crazy back then. You know what I mean? So that's what got me started. I started watching the Knicks. Like I'm gonna say like early '90s. You know what I'm saying? And I've been a fan since, man. I miss games. Like I'm locked in all 82. And if we got a 72 season, I'm all 72. You know what I mean? I'm Knicks forever, man. Like you know what I mean? I've been like you said, I've been in through the Knicks and Bruises with these Knicks, man. So I'm there, baby.
And
Word.
that's why we're here. We're gonna talk about your experience and your personal nicks and your personal
That's a
bruises
fact.
throughout the year, and then once we get out the way,
That's a fact.
we can start transitioning into talking about the current Knicks roster and getting some positive energy out out. You know what I mean? We
Let's
let it
fucking
go
go.
and
Let's
get
go. That's
get
why we
ready.
here,
So
man. We here.
it's a fact. So yeah.
That's what's
That
up.
being said, the floor is yours. You could go whichever way you want to go. Start with
All
the
right.
Knicks. Start with the Bruises. Mix them up. But the floor is yours, and I'll
Okay.
interject.
All right.
As you go.
All right. So I'm trying to go, and we're gonna go back. See, put your seatbelts on, because we're gonna go back. I mean, the Knicks that we had. Whew, man, I could start. I could start Charles Smith. We could go there. You know what I'm saying? We could go with the Charles Smith. Um, we can even go like I'm gonna say my three, my personal three, because then I'll be here all day just going all over the atmosphere, in Knicks Nation. My three, starting back from the '90s, I want to say Charles Smith. You know what I mean? Like that was a hurtful moment for us. I mean, that was a moment that what I'm saying, that we were supposed to capitalize off and really, do what we supposed to do, man. And that was like that was like one of the first times getting my heart broke as a Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I really got my heart broke at that moment. Um, that was crazy. Then I can go into the Melo era, because I was a big fan of Melo. You know what I'm saying? So when Melo left us, that left like a bad taste in my mouth. The way how everything played out with the front office and Melo and everything, that was like a blow. But actually, it was a little bit before the Melo. Before we got Melo, I think we had a nice little chemistry going. When we had like Raymond Felton, we had a couple of
Mm-hmm.
those guys. That era right there. Like I feel like we was building something. Not, and maybe not the craziest, dynasty or whatever, but there was something. We were starting somewhere. You know what I mean? And then we got Melo, and then the way how Melo just exited, it was like a bad taste for me. Like you know what I'm saying? And the more notable one is Porzingis, man. Porzingis, the way Porzingis went out, it was crazy, man. Like I got the text. I remember getting the text and saying, "Yo, Porzingis got traded." That was the game we played them the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Matter of fact, Dennis Smith Jr. gave us the business that game. I remember Dennis Smith Jr. giving us the business that. I don't miss a game. I remember Dennis Smith Jr. giving us the business that game. And then the next morning, I woke up and I'm like, I'm talking to my girl. I checked my phone, and they said Porzingis got traded, and I'm like, nah, this can't be right. I turned my phone off for 5 minutes. I didn't even look at it. came back to it, I said, "Oh, this shit is real. They really got rid of Porzingis. Porzingis is out of here." I was heartbroken, man. For like, I ain't gonna lie, man. For like a month or two after that, I was like, "Why the fuck did we do that?" Like, I don't know if I could curse on it, but I was like, "Yo,
The floor is yours,
why did
man.
we?" All right. My
Yeah,
fault.
you good,
I
man.
know how people do with their channels. You know what I mean? But I was like, "Yo, I don't know why we made that move. That move right there was at that point didn't make sense. But now, fast forward, that
Mm-hmm.
move was a beautiful move. I feel like we won that trade. In hindsight, I look back, I'm like, okay, we won that trade. But at that given time, it was like to me, it was like I was heartbroken. And I'm like, man, Porzingis, he was just about to elevate and really get in his prime. And I'm like, yo, we got rid of a player that we just about to get in his prime and basically for peanuts. I mean, it didn't work out with Dennis Smith Jr. We got Wes Matthews. I don't even think he was there for the full season. He was there for like half season.
He was
We caught
there
him
for
at
the rest of that.
almost
The
like the
rest
half
of
of the
that.
season, and then
He was there from the trade deadline on,
the
and we
rest of
didn't
that
bring him. And
season.
we didn't bring him back.
Facts, and then we out of there. DeAndre Jordan. I don't know. I kind of like the DeAndre Jordan as a Knick. Like I was kind of growing onto that idea, and then the next year he was gone. You know what I mean? So I was
Yeah.
just like, it was crazy, man. That was like one of the most craziest as of
I will.
recent Knick moments. You know what I'm saying?
I will say this. I think DeAndre Jordan definitely helped with the development of Mitchell Robinson. So like I think you
Oh,
can
for a
notice
fact.
that. You can notice that.
I think,
Instantly.
yeah.
Um,
I
and I was
think
just gonna say
honestly,
I agree with you
he
about
built
the
character.
Porzingis train.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
He like DeAndre Jordan brought out a character in Mitch that we didn't see prior to DeAndre Jordan getting it. Mitch was like, 19-year-old, probably I forgot, around somewhere around that age. So, when you that age range, you like shy and timid still, like you're not like,
Mm-hmm.
out your shell yet. And DeAndre Jordan came around, and then we had what was that? Mitch Robinson, what was the blocks? What was the show he had?
Oh,
Um,
Block
what's
Party.
that show, man?
Block Party.
Black Party. And then we started seeing Mitch progress. So I mean, salute to DeAndre Jordan for that move. But yeah, that Porzingis thing was hurtful, man. That was hurtful, man. You know what I mean? I still every time we played them, I'm like, yo, let's kill him, man. We gotta kill him every chance we get. And look at Porzingis now, man. Porzingis is
I mean,
we won that
he
trade.
is
We won that trade. You know what I
he
mean?
is who he is. I think he still has the ability to be better than he's performed, since he
Right.
hasn't been here. But and I agree with you. When that trade happened, same type of thing. I was at work. One of the customers who knew I was a Knicks fan told
Mm-hmm.
me. I thought he was messing with me. I ain't believe him. I kept working or whatever. Checked on my break,
Right.
so it was true. And yeah, I didn't like it. I thought we didn't get the right return. I thought
Right.
if we kind of shopped them, we could have got more.
Right. We could have
But
got way
then,
more assets than what we got. As far as like
immediately I'm like,
a star player.
yeah. But then immediately I'm like, you know what? It's probably best that we did it and we did it so fast, and it wasn't a spectacle of,
Right.
oh, we're shopping him, or oh, he doesn't want to be here, because that in New York would have been a lot worse
Bad
than,
publicity, yeah.
you know what I mean, than how
Yeah, bad
fast we did
publicity.
it, and just dealing with the
I
immediate
mean,
reaction of it.
we still got a media reaction to it though. Everybody was calling us crazy. Like, why did we trade Porzingis? Why did we trade our one of our centerpieces to our team? I remember I didn't even watch ESPN for like the rest of that year. You know what I'm saying? After we traded, because I already knew what what Stephen A. and Max Kellerman and them guys was doing to us, man. They was really making us feel some sort of way, and I felt some sort of way because I bought a Porzingis jersey. I bought a
Mm,
Porzingis jersey. Yo,
mm.
soon as he got traded, I got another thing to show y'all later. But
Okay.
as soon as he got traded, burnt that thing, man. I burnt
Mm.
that jersey because I'm like, it's over. The way he went up, the way I mean, if you know, I try not to get too attached to these players because I know at any given time they could be dealt. You know what I mean? They could go here. They could, you know, that's part of the business. But I just felt like the way how Porzingis went out and his brother, and just the way how the media spun it, I was like, man, I can't get behind that. You know what I'm saying? Like I really can't get behind that. So I mean, I don't really rock with Porzingis to this day, and I'm glad that conspired, man. That happened, man. So salute to Steve Mills and Scott Perry for that one, man. That was a low key strategic genius move that paid off in the long run. None of us could see that for the right thing and right now, you know, at that point. But in the long run, that shit paid off, man. You know what I mean?
So here's the thing. I don't know if I'm
We
jumping the
won that
gun at
series.
all. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun at all with
Hmm.
something you might be bringing up later, but if so, maybe it's a segue. So the reason we didn't get killed that bad in the media after the trade, like we got it, but it was only for about a week or two, because right after that, all the
You think so?
speculation, all the speculation opened up about how much cap space we had
That's a
by
fact.
moving Porzingis,
That's a
which
fact.
which
That's a fact.
you know what I mean. So there
But
was
you
a
know what
window.
what that led up to. That
But
was
that's what I'm
another
saying.
heartbreak.
I don't know if I'm jumping the gun, but
Man, bro.
there was a period in between what happened later
Nah.
and that trade where
So that
there was a
move,
glimmer of
all
hope.
right. So that move was set up. That was a heartbreak leading up to another heartbreak. That's like you left your girl. She texted you, said it's hope for us, and then she broke your heart again. You know what I mean? Like that's what that was. That was nasty because
Yeah,
and all about my I don't know about you, but I know about me, right? You couldn't tell me we wasn't getting Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. You know, the way the media was pushing it, the way all, you know, I heard Stephen A. Smith had the serious face. Yo, KD and Kyrie's going to New York. You know, so I'm like, you know, damn, this is a moment. Like, you know what I mean? So I in my mind started to fade with the Porzingis thing. I'm like, yo, we gonna get KD, we gonna get Kyrie. You know, that's gonna be the start. We had DeAndre Jordan. So, you know, at that time, right, they was like DeAndre Jordan cool with KD. So I'm like, all right, it's all making sense now. We got DeAndre Jordan for that move. I woke up that morning and I think Kevin Durant, I didn't see Kyrie yet. And I think Kyrie went before Kevin Durant, but I seen Kevin Durant and he put it on his Instagram. It was like, bro, he put the he had the Brooklyn
yeah,
with the today's agenda. Woke up. I was like, what?
yeah,
I was like, Knicks, what are we doing? What are we
yeah.
doing, man? That was a heartbreak. That was a bad time for us, man. That was a bad time for us. But I felt like everything in some sort of sense, it worked out for us in the best kind of way. You know what I mean? At that
Mhm.
given time, at those times, you would have never told us that we'd be where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see this far. You know.
I'll take it a step further. If
Mhm.
if the if the Brooklyn Nets the past
Brooklyn,
2 years
yeah. Mhm.
were the Knicks identical, you know what I mean? If that was our team and they
Right,
were
right,
us, but the
right,
names were different,
right.
we would still be getting ridiculed to this day. You know what I mean?
Oh,
We
that's a
would
fact.
be it would be talked about. Now, granted, they are under scrutiny as Brooklyn Nets,
Right,
but it would have been
right, right.
magnified had it been the same scenario but in a Knicks jersey.
No, that's a fact. That's a
I
fact.
agree. I think even though they're a better team or have better stars and that, I think I don't know if they were built for the orange and blue.
Nah. Everybody can't play under these lights, man, and that's one thing I know for sure. Like, you know, a lot of players can't come here and like, you know, because it comes with a lot of media. You know what I mean? New York, this is really when they say it's the mecca of basketball. This is the mecca of basketball. You know what I mean? For real. So people can't handle that pressure. You know what I mean? Those lights too bright. You see we won one playoff game and the whole town went in a frenzy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So it just tells you, it just dictates what kind of city this is. Like, you know what I mean? You got to be real tough skinned. And growing up playing basketball, you have to be tough skinned playing in New York. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like the Gauchos, the Rice, the Rucker Parks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the West Falls. You know what I mean? Like you had to really like have tough skin to even get out there and even play. So. You know, that's just the nature of New York, man. That's just the nature of New York, man.
Even where it
and a lot
starts
of
at the
people stray
small
away from that.
parks.
Yeah,
I
the
was,
small park.
you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like even St. James Park, you know what I mean? You couldn't go there
St. James Park.
not be tough. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or you
right.
you might
You
get
can't even
one
get in the flow
and never get it back on the court again.
And never nobody never get you back on the court. I've been there. I've been that guy, and I've been that guy that turned it up. And so they was picking me in every fall, like, yo, get him. He can shoot. He can do this. So, you know what I mean? Like New York is a tough city, man. You know, that's just the nature it is New York. So everybody not built for it. But I thought, honestly, KD and Kyrie was gonna come in and you know, at least try something here. You know what I mean?
Nah,
they went to Brooklyn. It is what it is. I mean, I ain't mad at that, man. You know what I mean? Like they hurt all the time anyway.
let me ask you this: how long before you accepted or you know what I mean it didn't bother you anymore? And like, or for instance, like, were you mad with the Randall signing and that offseason turnout as it ended up becoming? Because I was one of the rare people that actually wanted Randall.
Right. I'm not gonna say I wanted Randall. Randall came. I always knew what Randall could do though. Like I always knew, you know, him playing in New Orleans and him playing in for the Lakers. Like I always like kind of followed this game, and I seen every time we played him, he kind of gave us the business. So I was like, you know, Randall's a decent guy. It just the way the team was constructed for me, it was crazy. Like you know what I mean. You had Todd Gibson, we had Alfred Payton, we had Bobby Portis, we had Marcus Morris. I mean, those guys essentially was bench players on the team, and then you having these guys come to our team and be starters. So at first I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna work, and that was a horrible season as well. That was a horrible season, but on a great note, we did get Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris showed up. He got us that pick from Emmanuel quickly. I kind of didn't want to part ways with Marcus Morris once he really got the rhythm and he really got here. Marcus Morris was playing like a dog, and he was bringing that toughness to the whole team. Even down on Frank, you started seeing Frank started being a dog and woofing up and starting to, you know, be aggressive. But I just think the way the team was put together, I think it was like it was one of those kind of things where our front office at that given time, they didn't know what they was doing. So Randall got the backlash the most because he was paid the most as to be the star player. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it real, right? I'm probably one of the people that wasn't that hard on Randall. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you know, this is his first year playing as a star player on a team. You know what I mean? He's never been in that role before. You can't put somebody in a role and expect them to just voila flourish the same day in the same year that you put them on that team. So I seen little glimpses of Randall, and I was like, all right, Randall's gonna be all right. It's just the offense that we was running and the continuity between the plays wasn't matching up. So we seen it. We seen his flaws more than we seen anything else. When we seen Julius Randle, all we saw was his flaws. Him spinning, he was spinning out of control. You know what I mean? Like every play, I'm like, why did you spin? Why? Why did you spin into the? You know what I'm saying? So Julius Randle, it was crazy, man. It was a crazy watching that. It was the whole Fizdale tandem, and Fizdale really didn't know what he was doing. I felt like Fizdale was too relaxed with these players.
Yeah,
and
maybe friend.
If we had I feel like with that same roster and a coach like Tibbs, we probably would have had a different outcome. maybe Tibbs would have got some more wins out of them guys, and maybe who knows, probably a playoff run. Because look what Bobby Portis did when Bobby
Mm-hmm.
Portis left us. You know what I mean? He started flourishing in Milwaukee. Same thing as Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris went to the Clippers. I don't think Marcus Morris is doing that much more good on the Clippers. I felt like he was doing his thing over here more than
Mm-hmm.
he's doing on the Clippers, but still, look where they got him. You know what I mean? They got him on a playoff team, and he's moving on. So I just felt
So
like that team was just horrible, man. We had Alonzo Trey that year. I mean, Trey was
mm-hmm.
having issues, right? We got Trey up out of here. Man, we had Alfred running the point. It was disgusting, man. It was just disgusting to watch that. You know what I mean?
Drugs.
For real, that was disgusting to watch.
It's funny that you say that about Randall, because I also was one that wasn't like, it actually bothered me how much criticism he was getting during that that first season with us. And then I ended up writing an article on the NBK
Right.
website saying those exact same things. Actually, it was titled
Okay.
"Will Knicks fans owe Julius Randle an apology?" So and some of those
That's
same
a fact.
sentiments was
That's a
in
fact.
that article, and it's funny, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
Knicks fans came to that conclusion
I gotta
after
take that
last
off.
year. Like, yo, I gotta apologize, yo. You know what I mean? I didn't know he
Yo,
could
let me
do.
tell you.
So that's
Yo,
a fact, bro.
let me tell you, right? People was trashing Julius, man. I'm talking about like before the season started, this season that just passed, people was like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
let's trade him. And I'm like, yo, let's get this guy one more shot. I was always that. Like, you could go back to my old tweets. Matter of fact, I'm gonna retweet my old tweet and put it out there so y'all can see. Um,
No doubt.
I was like, nah, man, let's rock with Julius Randle. I mean, every blog site, yo, let's get rid of Randle, right? Randle played 2 games in the preseason, and I've seen a completely different Julius Randle. And I said to myself, I think I texted my homie, I'm like, yo, watch everybody start rocking with Julius Randle. I said, watch. Julius Randle, a phenomenal season. And we at this point we got to put some respect on his name. He's not doing them turnovers. I don't think I seen
Mm-hmm.
Julius Randle spend one time this whole year. Did you? Did you see
Nah,
Julius Randle do that spin?
he did it one time in the game
No,
that
I'm
we
saying that
lost.
spin into traffic. Okay.
Nah, he did it once in the game that we lost, and the only reason I remember is
Okay.
because
Okay.
those
Okay.
old
All right.
sentiments started creeping up throughout Twitter, and you know what I mean,
What
and on the different
that was the Atlanta game? What game
in
he did that in?
in the playoffs. No, it was in the regular
It
season.
was in the regular season.
It
Okay.
was in the regular season. He did it
I thought
once.
I
It
saw him
was
do that in the playoffs.
it had no, he probably did it in the playoffs, but he did it once in the regular season. I want to say before the Derrick Rose trade.
Okay.
Like we wasn't, you know what I mean, we wasn't solidified as making the playoffs at that particular time in the season. But
Right.
I remember the, you know what I mean, the haters came back out. They came
Yo,
back out
that
for
spin
a
move.
day.
I used to be screaming at my TV like, "Yo, what are you doing? Why are you spinning in the people? Like, why are you spinning into these plays, man?" Like, it was bad, man. Watching Randall play, it was bad. But you know what though? Like, I'm the type of person I always give somebody another shot. I'm like, you know what? This year, players have bad years. They have bad years. They get put in bad systems. They get bad roles, and they don't know how to, perfect their role yet. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe probably gonna have like he just had a bad season. I'm like, maybe he's gonna shake it off. And to my surprise, he did. And everybody owe that man an apology, man. What most improved Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Eastern Conference Player of the Month, the All-Star Game. Come on, man. Let's put some respect on
MVP
Julius
votes.
Randle's name, man. MVP votes. Like Julius Randle, the way he was facilitating for us this year, his 3-point percentage went up. Like he was shooting 40% from three.
Mm-hmm.
Even his field goal percentages went up. He was passing. His assist rate went up. He was actually passing the ball. Like he was finding players. Like I love that game him and Reggie Bullock did, man. I'm gonna miss that, man. When him and Reggie was running that two-man player game, at that 9-game winning streak, that was unstoppable. I don't care what nobody said. And I went to the last game when we played the Raptors. when after that game, that's when I went and see stop. But I was at that game at the Raptors, and just to see that, I'm not actually I went to two games. I went to two games this year, and just to see it up close and personal. I mean, up close and front, I was like, man, Randall really matured, man. His game really matured, man. He was really getting everybody involved, and I love what Julius Randle do. Now, my only thing is, I hope he don't get big headed, and then he backslide, or or he take a couple steps back this year, which I don't think he would. I think that
I
Julius
don't think he
Randle
can.
understands his role. Yeah, I don't think he can either.
Like
I
after
think he
that
understands his
playoff
role. It's a
series,
contract
you know what I
year.
mean? After that
Yeah,
playoff series, I
yeah,
don't think he
yeah.
can. Like had he performed in the playoffs and the rest of the team didn't, and you know what I mean? And it was like, oh, I
Right.
gave all I got, you know what I mean? I think maybe we could have had that concern, but coming into, coming off of that series and how he performed, I think I don't think he can
Right.
regress it. I think he's gonna go into the offseason that same work mentality and actually come
Yeah,
back
but that
better
same
again.
mentality. Yeah, I believe so. I don't. My thing is this, right? I don't know if he's gonna be that good as far as like last year. Maybe he'd be better than when he was last year, but that's gonna be for him to get that same production again. Julius Randle really gonna have to be on this game, and that playoff performance kind of scared me because I kind of seen Julius Randle going back to his old ways, and I'm like, man, we don't need this Julius Randle. You know what I mean? So let's just stay focused. But hopefully he come back in shape. I know he's gonna come back in shape. I know he's gonna come back and rock out and make it happen. So I mean, I'm on the Julius Randle fan page, man. You know what I mean? The fan train. You know what I mean? So let's get it, man. Julius Randle, King of New
So
York, right
let,
now.
let, let
By the
me
way,
ask you, you have more, you got more bruises, Knicks
man.
and bruises you want to discuss, or you want to just transition into this
Man,
current regime and where we
we
at
could
right now?
we could go to the current joint, man, because
Uh,
we gonna
I,
let's visit the Bruises a little later. We gonna end the show with the Bruises. Let's do that.
I, let's get into
Let's end the
where
show
we
with
at
the
now.
Bruises.
What
Let's
which
go
which
on the
which is
Bruises. You know what I mean?
which what's your thoughts on the off season? What's your thoughts on us running it back?
Or this off season
And,
right
and
now?
yeah, we basically running it back,
Oh, I love it,
and
yo. I love it, yo.
we upgraded that point guard,
Right,
obviously with Kemba right now, and we I mean, do you think Fournier is an upgrade over
right,
what we lost with Bullock defensively, or what's your
exactly.
thoughts on that?
All right, so the off season to me, I feel like this off season to me was brilliant from the front office perspective. And running it back is only going to bring continuity and consistency with these players. See, now this is the third year that Julius Randle and RJ played together. You got the whole bench played together last year. They're gonna play together this year. So when they was making those moves, I wasn't one of those people that was mad, like, oh man, we didn't go out. People, you know what? One thing we gotta start keeping it real. When you put all these new players on your team, it's not gonna always gel that first year. So I didn't want that. I felt like we was like one or two players away from being to where we need to go to the next level as far as one or two upgrades, which we did. We
Mm-hmm.
we upgraded with Evan Fournier for Reggie Bullock. I think the only part with that is going to be the defensive side. I mean, we're going to get more shooter. Fournier, he can play make, he can shoot the corner three. He could get to the bucket, he could drive. He's tough. He's a tough character. I like Fournier game. Every time we played him too, by the way, Fournier was killing us.
Killed
You know what I'm
us.
saying? Killing us. Let's keep that up front. He was killing us. So I love that we got Fournier. I mean, a lot of people wasn't happy with that sign, but I was. I was happy with that sign. I love the Derrick Rose sign. Derrick Rose, to me, is going to bring the stability for our bench as far as the Emmanuel Quickleys, the Miles
Mm-hmm.
McBrides, the Quentin Grimes, and those type of players. I love that. I love that we brought Rose back. I love that we brought Nerlens Noel back for the simple fact that we don't know what's going to happen with Mitch. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be from next year, he'd be an unrestricted free agent, or one of those nagging injuries come back to get him, and then Knicks go back down again. You know, so I like that move for Nerlens Noel. I love the fact that we brought back Burks. Burks is fourth quarter Jordan. I don't care what nobody say. When Burks is playing that fourth quarter, is this a? I see a whole different player. He looks like Jordan to me. Like I'm like, yo, is this Alex Burks? I love Alex Burks. He's our favorite. Yo, so you know, fourth quarter,
the closer.
Let's get Burks in our line.
He
He's gonna score. He's the closer.
He was
that.
the closer before he got hurt down the stretch. You know what I mean? And then Rose
was closing those games.
Stepped right in.
Rose stepped into that spot. I like him and Rose closing. Like I feel comfortable with that lineup. Like going to like at the end of the game. But let's get into the BX native, my boy Kemba. Now most of y'all, now I see a lot of people say the first thing they say about Kemba, oh Kemba health. You know, we don't know about his knee injury, and cool. Those are concerns I have for Kemba as well. I do want a healthy Kemba. I feel like we have Derrick Rose. I feel like we have a lot of depth at that point guard position to where we can even do load management on Kemba. Like maybe a game he'd take off a game. You know what I mean? Have Rose come in, have quickly do the backup, or McBride come in, or we had Luka Mendoza. We don't know what we got with Luka Mendoza yet. So I feel like that could be managed, but it has to start with Tibbs. Tibbs got to want to manage these guys the right way, because you got two guys that's injury prone. You got Derrick Rose and we got Kemba. But I'm not scared because I feel like we got depth at that position. So I feel like quickly could come in and fill that position, and like let's just say one of those guys go out. Or, we seen Burks. Burks' handle is not bad. Burks got handle. People sleeping on Burks' handle. Burks got handle. So I would feel comfortable with Burks running the point. McBride, I haven't seen a lot of games with him, but I've seen a lot of footage of him, and I love his game. He's a shooter. He like put it like this, right? I'm all over the place, but it's gonna make sense. When we play Atlanta again, I don't want to see Kemba in there. I want to see McBride on Trae Young. That boy defense, McBride defense, Deuce defense is shut down. I'm talking about from the point of attack.
Inbounds.
He's there. He's right there. He's the inbounds right there. He's all over that. You know what I mean? And I like the way he played, and he played with a chip on his shoulder. So I think Tibbs should be more situational with these players and put them and as far as matchups. I think he should adjust the lineup to the matchups and be like, well, I think this guy can guard this guy a little better. Let's let Kemba sit out tonight, or let's give him like 5 or 10 minutes or so and let him just do a load management. Let Derrick Rose. And another thing that people don't give Tibbs was doing that last year, right? He was kind of doing that. But we had Alfred Payton. Alfred Payton, you saw what he did. Alfred Payton to play the first half, second half. You won't see Alfred Payton no more. You know what I'm saying? He just warmed it up. So I feel like even if he do something like that, we can keep those guys healthy until like a healthy playoff run. So Kemba is a super upgrade from Alfred Payton. And they cannot double Randall like that. You can't double Randall like that.
Not no more.
That whole let me put this. We on NicksNBruises right now. Y'all cannot double Julius Randall no more, man. That's over. All that doubling Julius. You got Fournier. You got that boy. You got Kemba out there. You got RJ. RJ's turning. I think this year RJ gonna really turn that corner. And then we got Mitch. I mean, man, this team is gonna be exciting to watch, man. It's because it's two upgrades. You know what I'm saying? Alfred Payton, we got an upgrade for Alfred Payton. We got an upgrade for Reggie Bullock. Now on the defense side, on the defensive side, we lost defense with those two positions as well, because Alfred Payton played a decent. His defense wasn't locked down, but he played decent defense. Same thing as Bullock. I love the way Bullock was playing defense. You know what I'm saying? And Bullock is really a 3-and-D guy, but he can't do too much off of the dribble. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if we could get Fournier to step it up and get Kemba to really step it up, I'm talking about like really play Tibbs kind of defense. We got. I don't want to put a cap on us like we gonna be the first seed, second seed, third seed, but we gonna be in the playoffs comfortably. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
With those two guys healthy. With those two
I
guys
think
healthy.
yeah, I think the addition of Kemba definitely put us in the 4 to 6 range. You know what I mean? I don't see us having to worry about the playing tournament. You know what I mean? I think we avoid that.
Nah. You definitely.
So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Are you concerned that
now? Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a
Right.
question right now. So, how do you feel about Obi Toppins? Do you think we need more depth at that power forward position, or are you happy with the play of Obi Toppins?
All right. First
Randall need a break. Randall.
First, let me start off with saying I didn't mind if we brought Carmelo back. I know he's on the Lakers now, but I definitely wanted.
Right.
I wanted to at least, give it a look. I'm glad he was considering us. That's good enough for me right now. But I'm also one of the people that thought, I've been saying it all last season, that even though Obi wasn't playing well, that he's going to be a lot better next year. So I still believe that.
Right.
I think even if his minutes don't increase and he still gets that, I think he had about 15 minutes a game, maybe.
That's what he
I think he could get 15 minutes a game this season and be a lot more productive. I think even towards the end of the season, he started being a lot more. He didn't look lost on defense. You know what I mean? He gave you his value in his limited minutes. So I'm not down on Obi at all. And then I like the fact that we re-signed Taj. So if our centers are healthy, that
was my favorite Knicks last year,
and Mitch are healthy, then Taj can play some backup 4. If need be.
Right.
And he could give Randall a rest as well. But one of my concerns right now is I feel like RJ is gonna have to be out. He's gonna have to defend the best wing on the opposing team now. Like he's gonna take on the Reggie Bullock role. I'm not really down on Fournier's defense. I think he's a scrappy defender. But now RJ's gonna have to guard the LeBrons. You know what I mean? The maybe not the KDs, but like the Paul Georges. So I hopefully he can take the next step defensively, and then I'll be happy with that same production of last year. If he takes a step up defensively, I think that'll be more of a team need than an individual need for him.
That's a fact. So let me ask you this, right? So if you had the choice to bring back Alec Burks or Reggie Bullock, who would you would have? If you had the choice, which one you would have brought back?
I was leaning towards Bullock as well. I mean, no, I'm sorry, Burks. I was leaning towards Burks as well, just because
he
does more. Yeah, the versatility. He's not a liability on defense. You know what I mean? He's not the same defender as Bullock, but he's not a liability. So I'll take the guy with more offensive ability.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like Bullock was locked down defender. He's very good. He's very good and he's very versatile.
He's pesky. He's real pesky on defense. Like, he gets behind the screen sometimes. I mean, I like Bullock, man. Bullock is a decent guy, man. I feel like Fournier is a I wouldn't even say a major upgrade, but he's an upgrade to what Reggie Bullock was, and I think Randall will let to play with him a little bit better because he's gonna play make. he's gonna do a lot for us. You know what I mean? He's gonna do a lot for us. RJ, he's gonna open up stuff for RJ. Um, I I honestly want to see Kemba play with Obi Toppins. I don't know why I keep envisioning that in my head, but for some crazy reason, I feel like those two will be box office playing together. Like I just feel like Kemba
I'll
could
tell
drive
you.
and Obi will come off one of the wings.
I'll tell you what will go a long way for
Dunk it
Obi
out of
right
nowhere.
now. If Obi can pick
What's
up
that?
a thing or two as far as, and Mitch too, honestly, just setting a solid screen. Like, it sounds very simple,
Oh yeah,
but if he could just work on that, setting the solid screen fundamentally every time, solid screen,
right.
I think that'll, especially with a guy like Kemba, that'll open up
Fact,
everything. You know what I mean?
fact.
And I don't know who's
That's
the
a
guy to
fact.
teach that or make that a focal point, but man, I think that'll be 4 points a game for Obi if he could
Right.
just
Off,
focus on the screen
off the bat,
and then let the play out.
yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact. I think that's effective for Obi game too, because Obi's a screen and roll type of guy. You know what I mean? He got a screen and roll to the basket. So I feel like we haven't really tapped into that with Obi. You know what I mean? And I feel like this year maybe this year it'll be more implemented in that game. Maybe with Derrick Rose, they'll really start getting that game down packed because now they got some continuity. So now they know
Mm-hmm.
each other's tendencies, they know each other's flaws, they know so maybe that game would be more highlighted for Obi. But yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a good year for Obi. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really feel like it's gonna be a good year for Obi. I feel like he gonna take the next. I love Emmanuel Quickly, man. Emmanuel Quickly. I'm gonna say Emmanuel Quickly is my most exciting Knick to watch. Like when he gets on the floor, I just feel like we see what Emmanuel Quickly does, man. Like I feel like we need to use him more in a Stephen Curry kind of role. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he can be that. His range is insane. Um, he even had a little bit of glimpses of Trey Young. But the only downside to the NBA now is that they taking that call real serious. When you leaning into the player and you
Yeah, yeah.
or you stopping it and you shooting, they gonna start reversing that call. So
I
players like
think
Trey
this.
Young is not gonna eat like that. Players like Steph is not gonna eat like that.
I think when you stop, you'll be fine. As long as I think they're gonna focus on jumping straight up. You know what I
Leaning in.
mean? Yeah, no leaning back, no leaning to the
I thought they were
side, no
saying like I
leaning.
thought they were saying like the leaning back, like the leaning back, leaning to the side. Yeah.
Yeah, none of that. You know what I mean? But if you stop, because they can still make that same play and just stop, knowing that guy's gonna run into you. You know what I
Right.
mean? But a lot of times they stop and like kind of do a fadeaway.
Like lean in, yeah, like kind
Mm-hmm.
of like lean back and get that call. Like players like Trey Young, if that happens, he's those points are
Mm-hmm.
not gonna that screen and roll that he was doing with Capella, that's not even gonna it's not gonna be a thing no more because people gonna be
And
like, well, I'm gonna get up on him because
I
I know
wonder,
now he can't do
is
that.
it gonna be a
He
no
can't lean back
call?
and do that.
Is it gonna be a
I
no
don't know if it's
call, a play
I don't
on,
I don't know I don't know like if they're gonna like if
or is
they're
it
if they're calling like
are
a
they gonna penalize the
offensive foul.
offensive player?
That's what I'm
Because
thinking. Like if they probably do it. If they do it, I think they should do it like as if it's an offensive foul because they're not to stop players from doing that. Like, but that was one of the tricks that was in Quickly bag. Now I feel like
mm-hmm.
Quickly need to work on that he need to get that mid range game down pat. And a floater like in the beginning of the season and to the end of the season is different. The beginning of
Mm-hmm.
the season it was more fluent. Like at the like towards like the end of the season we started fading away. Like I started watching it and I'm like it's not the same. So I think he need to refresh that floater game, get that little mid range in, and I think Quickly he's on his way, man. I really feel like Quickly is gonna be an impactful player for the Knicks for some years to come. Hopefully if we keep him, you know what I mean?
Do you think?
I
Do
like
you
Quickly
think?
game.
Do you think there's gonna be a issue with Grimes getting on the floor, or do you think Grimes or
I think
quickly one of them will be one of them will
situational.
be yeah. Do you think one of them will impede the other one's playing time, or do you even
I mean,
think
that's
Grimes
that's
can
all
play
going
some minutes at the three? I only say that because Grimes is we really don't know which Grimes we're getting. If we're getting
right,
the 3 and D guy, or if we're getting the playmaker guy.
right,
Hopefully, we get the
right.
combination of both.
The
And if
combination
we
of
get
both.
that
I
guy,
like him. I
I
like him.
think he may have more of an opportunity than Quickly, because Quickly has some limitations defensively.
Now, here's the thing, right? I think Grimes. I think I will put Grimes at the three only because for defensive purposes. Um, I feel like he'll be good there, but I don't know, man. Honestly, I think it's gonna really come down to the preseason. It's gonna really come down to practice. You know how Tibbs gonna keep these players accountable. I love it. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to really go in there and fight for minutes. Now, let's say quickly have a few off games. Quickly minutes might might go down, and then you might see Grimes get some more minutes. It all depends on how that goes. But I feel like the roster is already set as far
Yeah,
as who's going to be the starters and who's going to be the bench. Now, I feel like all our rookies is going to be situational. Now, I don't want them to be, but that's how, when we brought back Burks, I was like, all right, Quentin Grimes is not gonna he's not gonna be on the bench. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like for them to really get minutes or really to really stay in the game, they need to more so when they get in the game, they need to show off. They really need to get in there and play their heart out and play that defense and knock down them shots when them opportunities come. Because if they don't, they're not going to see the floor. And Tibbs is not high on rookies. You know what I'm saying? So
yep.
with that being said,
I actually love
they
it.
got to get in and show out. Because
I love the fact that we could go ahead and put our rookies in the G League and not have backlash for it, not look like it as
right,
a demotion
right,
or oh, you drafted this guy and you're not even playing, you know what I mean? Like we could
right,
literally say, hey, go down there, get 35 minutes a game in the G League and
right,
showcase what you got.
right,
You know
right.
what I mean? And
I mean,
be ready to play if we
I would
need
do
you.
that. I would do that. I would do that with McBride because I feel like his pecking order is like way longer than Quinn. I feel like Quentin
Grimes.
Grimes to get minutes before McBride because we got Luka Mendoza. We still don't know what Luka Mendoza does. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's just it's gonna be a fight, and it's gonna be one of those things where they're gonna have to they're gonna have to really be in practice and really get it. Hold on 1 second, Tony. Let me get my
Yes, sir.
animals up out the room.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys checking in. Hit that like button, subscribe. Knicks and Bruises, episode 19. Drugs only.
Yeah. Yeah, they gonna drive me crazy in here today. But yeah. But yeah, man, I feel like I said, I still want to kind of see the other guy we got too, Jericho Sims. I was
Yeah,
looking at him. That boy can jump. He got some bunnies with him. So
yeah,
who knows, man? I just think his offensive game is not there, but
yeah.
who knows, man?
I think he has the he's gonna be the most situational
Oh yeah,
out of the group. Um,
yeah, yeah,
Honestly, I
for sure.
think Grimes and McBride have both have equal a chance of getting some type of
Right,
playing time, and I say that because both of them, McBride even more, are known for their defense. You know what I mean?
right,
Now you could argue at both positions, none. You know, we don't have guys that are actually known for the defense. You know what I mean? Like
right, 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 right,
RJ's a decent defender. You know, Fournier, in my opinion, is underrated defender. Like he's
right.
not as bad as people are
He's not bad,
perceiving
but
him to be.
it's a downgrade from Reggie Bullock though.
Oh yeah, no, for
As far
sure,
as on the
for
defensive
sure.
side,
But
yeah,
you know, none of these guys have the monarch of being a defender. McBride
Right,
does, and so does Grimes. So that's going to be
right.
interesting if the
Yeah,
defense
those.
can be good enough to give them an opportunity
I
immediately.
think so. I think that's the difference between this year rookie class and last year rookie class. Yeah, last year rookie class, both of those guys is more offensive players. If you look at Obi Toppins, I
Hmm.
didn't know too much about Emmanuel quickly, but I was watching Obi Toppin in college, and he was like definitely an offensive guy. I never thought his defense was solid,
Hmm.
but he actually impressed me a little bit this year with his defense. It wasn't too bad. I mean, but he he's not a defensive guy. Now, same thing with Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly is he's an offensive guy. He's a quick he's a bucket. You know what I mean? You put him in the game, you're a bucket with Emmanuel Quickly. You're gonna give up some buckets, but you're gonna get some buckets as well. Um, I think these two picks was Tibbs' personal picks. These wasn't front office. Last year was front office
For
picks. I think
office.
that's what happened. Tibbs probably
Okay.
like, yo, y'all picked this year, and it didn't work out the way Tibbs is like, all right,
Now let
you
me
didn't
tell
get
you
my
what I
main
need.
guys.
Yep.
I'm picking my guys now. He probably had his whole draft, and everybody else is sitting around the table looking at Tibbs do his thing, and he was like, these are the type of guys I want. And he got McBride, and he got Quinn. You know, what I mean? It's no coincidence
Yeah.
that we got these two guys. You know what I'm saying? It's no coincidence. And
Interesting pick.
they brought back Quentin Grimes. They brought him back to do a private workout. So when they did
Mm,
that, I was like, oh yeah, he's in here. There's no
mm.
way he's not gonna come here and do a private work. Once you do a private workout with a team, they sold on you. They want you. You know what I mean? They really want you. So I mean, sometimes it could be smoke, but sometimes it could be fire. You know what I mean? And I felt like they really wanted that guy. So these are two
Let me.
Tibbs guys. So Tibbs know, like he know what these guys can do from front to back, and they bring shooting. Both of them dudes can shoot. You know what I'm saying? So
Three
like
in
you got to
defense
think about
position.
it. Even the Kembas of the world, they not safe. They not safe. You never know. Kemba might not be playing up to par. Get McBride in the game. That's all it takes. And once he come in and he play like a dog and he shoot and he do everything you can't do, you're not gonna see the floor no more. We see you next year, bro. Like you know what I mean? And I think that's what it is. Tibbs teams is gladiators. He make y'all go. He make them go through gladiator school. You know what I mean? They just don't. That's why you don't see Kevin Knox hitting the floor. Did you see Kevin Knox
I
even
was
play
just
last year? Come on, Kevin
I was
Knox never
just
been to
about
the
to
floor.
ask you. I was just about to ask you about Kevin Knox and what do you think his future? Do you think he remains on the roster for the remainder of the season? Do you think he's moved?
It's
Does he
over for
have an
Kevin Knox.
opportunity?
Kevin
It's
Knox,
a wrap.
Kevin. Me personally, I will move Kevin Knox at the next trade deadline. I mean, what's that? What's the other
Um, the trade
yeah
deadline, the mid season.
the midseason trade deadline. I will move Kevin Knox.
No, for sure. I think I lost
Right,
you.
and something like that. Spider contract. I'm here. I'm here.
All
You
right,
see
you
me?
back. You back. Yeah, yeah, you back.
All right. Yeah, Kevin Knox doesn't fit the type of player that Tibbs are like that Tibbs is high on. You know what I mean? Kevin Knox is not that player. Kevin Knox is like a shy kid. He's not like assertive. You know what I mean? He's not gonna like
Hmm.
come in and play great defense and stay on the floor. Like, you know what I mean? He's gonna be one of those guys. I feel bad for him, but at the same time, it's like you gotta want this shit because it's the NBA. Ain't
Yeah.
nothing given. You can get here. It's about what you do when you get here. That's like signing a record deal. You can be the hottest rapper, right? But when you sign your deal, that's when the work really starts. It don't
Yeah.
start when you out on the streets. I mean, yeah, that's the imprint you put in. But once you get the deal, you got to maintain it. You got to
Yeah.
keep them fans coming in. And I feel like that's the same approach with our Kevin Knox, man. Kevin Knox, he got here. It was like, yo, I made it, and then that was it for him. It was like he had one good
The,
year, one good summer
the,
league, and that was it for Kevin Knox. You know, what I mean, it was over for him.
does he
One
get
decent
that?
year, not good year.
Does he get that resurgence knowing it's a contract? contract
better play like
situation,
it.
or maybe even
I
an
don't even think you
NBA
want to.
NBA life situation. You know what I mean? Like
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna
career
keep it real with
situation.
you, Tony. I don't think he's gonna sniff the floor this year. It's too. We got too much depth, especially. That would have to be Obi Toppin go down, and God forbid Julius Randle go down to see Kevin Knox. Like, what position do you want to slide him in? You want to slide him in a 3?
I mean,
That's his
he. I
position.
mean, he could play. He could play 3 or 4. I think ultimately he's going to be a 4, but I don't think he's filled into his body yet to stay there now. You know what I mean? But he could give you minutes at,
Let me tell you. Let me
either,
tell you
either
this.
spot.
Let me tell you this, right? My opinion, right? What I would do, I would play Kevin Knox to
Build
get
his
his
body.
trade value up and then ship him out. Yeah, I would play him. Like, I mean, I know what Tibbs is gonna do, but I'm saying, me per se, I would have played them.
Well,
I
I'll
would have
say
fucked around and
this.
started Kevin Knox.
I'll say this. If he's not gonna play, send him
Mhm.
down to the G League to get the minutes with the young guys. You know what I
In
mean?
fact,
I mean, and
he should have
I
been
mean,
in the G League.
I agree. I agree.
He should
I
have
mean,
been in the G
all
League
of our young guys
2
should
seasons
have
ago.
had stints there. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I'm not one of those
Frank
people
should have been
who
there.
say you're drafted at a lottery position, so you can't get G League minutes. I'm never gonna say that. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're the number 1 pick.
Right. Right.
If you're not gonna get the minutes on the main team,
Right.
send them down there where they could get minutes and develop.
Might as well play.
Especially if your G League is running the same
Right. Right.
system as the big league.
As you. Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. Now we do have a roster spot open, right? Being that we got what? We got 14 players on the roster.
I
Or
think
15,
all
we
our
got the whole
main roster
15.
spots. I think all our main roster spots are open. I think McBride is gonna end up starting on a 2-way. And I say that because Vildoza signed as well, and he's non-guaranteed. So
okay.
So you know what I mean. You put McBride on a 2-way,
Okay. Yeah.
but he could still play with the team.
Put McBride on the 2-way. Yeah.
And you see what you have with Vildoza before you do. You know what I mean? Like you can cut Vendoza anytime. You know what I mean? The 2-way, you got a window of when you have to decide to keep him. So you want to see what you have in Vildoza.
Right.
Then maybe trade him, waive him, and then you sign McBride. You know what I mean, to the big team.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
Yeah, because
let me tell you another one
that frees up the roster spot that you can't use if you just sign McBride straight up.
That's a fact. One player we should bring back, and I know most people in this chat ain't gonna agree with me. Maybe they will. Theo Pinson. What he did for us, it can't go unnoticed. And I'm saying that as a guy that been to 2 games this season. We won both games. I went to the Detroit game, one of the Detroit games, and I went to the Raptors game. And I'm actually on a main Knicks commercial. I just have to plug myself in there. But I'm on they came up to me, shot the video and whatever. I'm on the main one of the main Knicks commercial. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Theo Pinson energy was phenomenal, and you need a player like that on your team. You need one of those type of guys on your bench. That's that energy. That because you might have a player like Julius Randle. Julius Randle might have a bad game, but he knows. You ever had like a friend where like you having a bad day, and this one particular friend, no matter how your day going, when you see him, he's just that energy. Like he could just switch your whole energy, and then you have a good time, and you forgot what you was mad at.
Yep,
that's Theo Pinson. You need a Theo Pinson.
I believe
for culture purposes.
I believe they already put him on a 2-way as well.
Oh, he's on the 2-way. So that's good. That's good. That's culture. We need that kind of culture. We need that kind of culture. Like I'm trying to tell you, Theo Pinson was I wouldn't call him a cheerleader, a grown man, but
Mm-hmm.
he was motivating. Like you
A glue
saw when the
guy.
players came to the bench, they was rocking. Yeah, he was a glue guy. Like the players was coming to the bench and they was rocking with him. You know what I mean? His energy was always up. You need to do a crazy dunk and look over and see your bench going crazy. You need that. That's what's going to build you up to keep doing it. Like look when Obi did it in the playoffs. The game was game 2. You saw our bench. Our bench went crazy. That shot when Reggie Bullock hit in the corner. We played the Pelicans. When Derrick Rose drove to the basket and he kicked out and Bullock hit that shot. Our bench. When R.J. Barrett dunked it. You need a player like that, man. And people don't think that they look at that a guy like him so underrated. And I feel like what he brought to this team was phenomenal behind the scenes and on the court. You know what I mean? So I love that we got Theo Pinson. Give him a life contract and get him in the organization at some point. You know what I mean?
You're not the first person. I've been hearing that a lot, honestly. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people feel that way.
I would give him a life contract. Like
it's been brought up that he does want to be a coach, so you know what I mean. Put him on that coaching staff and things of that nature. So
I'll get him on the coaching staff somewhere. Maybe start him off in the G League. Like, yo, you go to the G League, you know, get your thing up there, then you can work your way into the staff. But I feel like he's a lifetime player. We need to keep him. I love what Todd Gibson did for us. Todd Gibson is another culture guy. Man, the Knicks, people gonna sleep on us again this year. And we gonna do the same thing we did last year. And you hearing it right here again, bro. Let me tell you, right?
I hope so.
Real stuff. And I'm gonna send it to you when we get it. I said the Knicks is gonna win 40 games and go to the playoffs. I'm gonna send you as soon as I get off here. I'm gonna send you that tweet.
Okay.
I'll send you that tweet. I said the Knicks is gonna win 40 games and go to the playoffs. Soon as that happened, I just started getting crazy retweets. Yo, bro, you a genius. Yo, you need to play lotto. I felt something. I felt that this season was gonna be something different. When we got Tibbs, I'm like, Tibbs is not going to play with us, man. It's not going to be none of these soft coaches that we had, and the players don't respect them, and they doing what they want. I'm like, nah, Tibbs is a different beast, man. I love what Tibbs was doing when we had him back in the days, man. So, you know what I mean? Like, I knew that we was going to hit that mark this year, and I predicted it, like I said early in the season, like 40 wins, and we going to the playoffs. And when we finish this interview, I'm gonna send you that tweet. You know, it's timestamp. It's gonna tell you.
No doubt.
It's gonna tell you.
I want to know what's your prediction this year? How about that?
43 wins. 43 wins and the 5th seed.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna do the 5th.
We're gonna do
4, but we're gonna get more wins this year. But I feel like. I mean, the East got tougher. You know what I mean? Looking at all the upgrades, and all it really takes is 20 games for dudes to start gelling and start getting a continuity with each other. I'm not really scared of nobody in the East, but I have to acknowledge teams did get better. You know what I mean? A lot of teams got better. Even a team like you can't sleep on the Wizards. You know, the Wizards. I was having a conversation with my friend. Like he's one of my he's in my label. He's a producer from Washington D.C. and he's a big Wizard fan. And I was like, yo, y'all upgraded in every position. Like when I'm looking at that roster, they got Dinwiddie, they got Montrezl Harrell, they got Kyle Kuzma, they got Bradley Beal. That's an upgrade from what the Wizards had. And then you got that guy Corey Pittsburgh. He can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You slide him in. So I was just like, that's just one of the teams. Then you got the Bulls. You know, I'm watching these teams grow.
Did the Bulls sign DeRozan?
They got DeRozan. So the Bulls got DeRozan. They got Ball. They got Vucevic. They got Pat Williams, Levine. They got Kobe White. That's a nice little team. Now, here's where I match up the Knicks with everybody else, right? This is how I match them up. I don't do starting lineups. I do benches. Our bench versus your bench. Our bench could beat your bench. We could beat y'all. We got one of the strongest benches in the East. Now, if you look at every team, we naming these like we just named Vucevic. These are started five guys. Yeah. After that, going to their bench, the talent cuts off. You know what I mean? We got a strong bench, and not only a strong bench, but we got a strong bench that been together. So they know each other. They know like, yo, listen, this is what you gonna do. This is what you gonna do. I don't even gotta say it. I know you gonna be here. I know you gonna be there. So I think we got a strong bench. The only benches I'm concerned about is the Atlanta Hawks, Miami. I'm not too worried about Milwaukee bench. They got rid of a lot of people. PJ Tucker left. Britton Forbes went back to San Antonio. Brooklyn don't got a strong bench, but they got a strong three. No, Portis is there. He re-signed for 2 more years. Portis is there. I'm not even too scared of Philly, man. Philly just got slower. When I look at they run.
I'll tell you what, man, that Drummond acquisition, I think that's gonna be good for them. For the simple fact, I mean, just looking
that's
at
gonna be like David Robinson and Tim Duncan
against us, a team like us, because that's one thing we're lacking is girth at the center.
They gonna body us. Yeah. Oh my God, they gonna body us.
Yeah, I don't even know.
You telling me you gonna have to go MB, and then after MB gets stuff down Drummond? Oh my God, they gonna buy us. And don't let them run. MB at the power forward. Let's just say if they want to just get freaky with it, move MB to the power forward and then Drummond at the 5. We killed in that position. You know what I mean? But they slower. That it makes them slower. But a team like us is gonna have issues with them. I mean, we got Mitch
and Noel. They both real thin. They said Mitch gained.
They real thin.
They said he's 275 now.
He's 275. He gained weight, but that's still not enough. That's still not enough for those guys. You know what I mean? For at least Embiid, I feel like we can neutralize
Drummond.
What's his name a little bit more. Yeah. Drummond, but like Embiid can do a whole bunch of other stuff too. So
yeah, but he
it's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing we really missing. I think the key to the season, honestly, is going to be how much of our defense is sustainable from last season. So how close? Let's say we were top 5. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but let's say if we were top 5, if we could stay within the top 10. If we were top 10, if we could stay within top 15 in the league. You know what I mean? Like, so if the drop off is only about 5, but because I think our offense is gonna skyrocket. You know what I mean?
Right. Our offense is gonna definitely improve.
So
I think our defense is gonna be all right. Like I said, the only 2 guys I'm concerned about, and I wouldn't even say concerned about them, because I feel like under a Tibbs system, I think Tibbs would bring out the part of the defensive part of the game that they was missing, but not even missing too much. It's basically just tightening up a little bit more. Was Kemba and Fournier. But now Fournier is not bad, like you said. It's just you get glimpses of him not playing good defense, but I feel like he's all right. If we could get those 2 guys to play more than average defense, then we'll be all right, man. We'll be all right. And we got some more shooting, we got some more scoring, which we needed bad. It was like I'm not gonna lie. Last year watching us play was like cringing. I was cringing at some points because I'm like, we cannot score. We were getting like the craziest scoring droughts where it's like, yo, why we can't score 2 points? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter who had the ball, we just couldn't do it.
I was just about to say the same thing. Like, no matter who was on the court, at times we just couldn't score.
We couldn't score.
Like, it was times Randall was on the floor, RJB on the floor, and we still had those droughts. You know,
we still had those droughts, man. So maybe
ultimately, I think that was
this year
point guard position, but also just playmaking in general. both the guys we brought in
Right.
can play make, and Kemba as
And the
as
clutch
much
and the
as
clutch
much as
play.
he could, give you 30 in any particular day,
Right.
he could give you probably 10 assists every game as well.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
So
and Kimba's clutch. That's like a play. That's a play we was missing. We was missing a clutch player to get the ball out of Randall's hands when let's just say it's 5 seconds on the clock and it's obvious they're gonna double Randall and it's obvious that we're gonna give the ball to Randall. And I don't think Randall saved us one time this year. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but in those possessions where there's one possession left and we got the chance to win the game,
oh yeah,
I
he
don't
was
think
he was an
Randall
offer.
came through in the clutch.
He matter of fact, the one thing he hit the buzzer beater to send us to overtime, but I think we lost that. I think we lost that
To
game.
overtime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we lost that game. I'm talking about the win the game.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
We could have
That's
did
the
that
closest. That's the
twice
closest. But
with Brooklyn,
he was an offer. Yeah,
twice with Philly. Yeah,
and it got to the point where I kept thinking, um,
yeah. So
maybe
uplifting those moments.
he should defer. You know what I mean? Because I felt like at this point he was still having a good season, but he was like, I'm the guy.
I think he did.
I'm the guy, so I have to take that shot. And you know what I mean? Like, not,
I think he did though.
you did what?
You know what? He did though. He did sometimes. He gave it. I think he deferred to like RJ one
RJ in
time. He
Miami.
deferred to Rose one time. Right? I think
RJ in
RJ.
Miami.
RJ's another
In
one. He got to
Miami.
build that up too.
Rose, that was like later on because I think everything I'm referring to was prior to Rose, because Rose definitely
No, that's
was
a
the
fact. That's a fact.
was the decision maker at the end of the game. You know what I mean? Once he got there,
That's a fact.
it was like put
That's a
the
fact.
ball in his hand, and then he gave Bullock a game winner. I think he got a game winner himself. Rose did, but when Randall was before Rose,
Right.
Randall was taking that shot every time it was down to the wire. You know what I mean?
That's
It
a
was
fact.
like, and that's something you just gotta learn. Like at certain times, you gotta make the right play. You know what I mean?
You
Not
got
just
to. You got to. Because that
as
that
tough
can
as it
come down.
is.
That type of shot can come down to your whole season. Your season can end on a shot like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta be ready for those moments. I think this year, I think he learned. See, that was another learning curve for him last year. That was something else that he never experienced, and he never experienced the playoffs. So those are two things I feel like he gonna get better at. You know what I mean? He's gonna be like, yo, I know at these moments, either I gotta make the right kick or I have to make the bucket. I have to get us a bucket. And I feel like
No,
where you got a person like Kemba on the floor, you got a person like Fournier on the floor, and maybe even RJ this year, you got a chance. And maybe even if you switch the lineup and it depends on how who's playing and who's hot at the moment. But you can even get somebody in there like Burks. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Burks. My thing with Burks, I want to see this year is more consistency. If you're gonna be a 15 point per game player, let's try to average that every game. Don't give us 15, 25, 32,
8.
8, 6. You know what I mean? Let's. I would like his game to be a more consistent because he got that killer in him. Like I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but he do have that killer in him, man. And
I definitely do.
it'd be moments where he just looked like Jordan off that. You know what I mean? I'm like, is this Michael Jordan?
That twisted ankle killed us for you know what I mean,
Oh
because
my god!
even excuse me, we missed him when he went out, but I think we also rushed him back because of where we
Right,
were, and we needed him to come back. And so I think if again health
that's
health
right.
is probably the number one thing. After that, I think RJ's
Mhm.
development defensively. Like if he develops defensively,
Facts.
I'll be very content if he gives me the same offensive production as last year.
Right,
But
right.
if he could do both, great. And then what's my third thing? Oh man, I can't even think of it right now. It's been a long day, but those two things, health and RJ's development, um, I think those are going to be real key.
Right.
You
Not
know, if somebody could take a jump
real
like
key,
Randall
real
did
key.
last year, great.
Right. It have to be an RJ. I think this year we want to see that same growth that Randall did and RJ. And like you said, it starts on the defensive side. Because I'm not I'm not down on RJ on offense because I feel like he could get there. You know what I mean? He's been getting there. He's getting to that rack. He's scoring at will at some games. But then you
Mm-hmm.
got some cold games like RJ just get cold and then in the beginning of the season he struggled with that 3-point shot. And it was good to see him bounce back from that and come back and get that percentage to where he got
Yeah,
it to. And I was impressed by that. I
from
was like,
28 to
because it was at a
40.
point where he couldn't even hit a three.
From 20, I
He couldn't
think,
even
matter
hit
of
a three
fact,
at one
he
point.
might
I
have
was
been, it
like,
might have
damn,
been
what the
low 20s. It might have been like 23% at one point, and got it all
like
the way
20
up to
like
40,
25 or 24, some shit like that. Yeah.
and got it
He
all the way
ended the
up to
game winning
40.
40.
That's a big
So
jump. Yeah,
that
I'm
was a
not
big
concerned.
look from RJ, I
I'm
feel
not
like, you know
concerned
what
with
I'm saying?
RJ's
So
offense at
that's a
all.
big jump.
You know what I mean? Like, he's young. I see the growth. I see
Me
his
neither.
improvement throughout the season. But yeah, if he could take the next step defensively,
Right.
oh man, I think if he could give us what Bullock gave us defensively, and just
He's gonna
keep that offense,
he's
and
gonna have
then
to be that RJ's gonna have to be that Chris Middleton, and Julius Randle is gonna have to be that Giannis Antetokounmpo. When I look at them, prototypical, that's who I want them to be. If I want them to be anybody in the NBA as a duo, I
mhm.
see them two players can be those two kind of players, and that's gonna come with time though. Like and we already in year 3, so if we keep these guys 5-6 years together, I mean, I smell a championship coming, man. Yo, if the Knicks win, man, I'ma cry. You have no idea, man. Yo, if the Knicks win, I'm a grown man, and I'm sitting here and I will fucking cry, man. Like literally cry, man. Like we win the
I-
championship. But I'm
yeah.
gonna put one of my greatest accomplishments out here.
Oh, okay. It's signed
You
too.
know, I don't know if
Is
I
that an
got it right.
autograph?
Signed to me personally.
Nice,
Autograph, Walt Clyde Frazier to
nice.
me. He's a good guy, man. Walt is I got another hat too. That was one of my prized possessions. I had to show it here on Knicks and Bruises.
I
But I
I
also got a
appreciate you.
heartbreaker jersey to show you.
Uh, is that the one you mentioned earlier?
Nah.
Uh,
You
using a Frank Hive? I ain't
I was
mad
in
at you,
Frank.
man.
I was in the Frank House. Yo, listen.
I ain't mad at you.
If you want to auction this off, we could do it through Knicks and Bruises, but this is gone, man. This is
For
gone.
sure.
So
Matter of fact,
anybody,
I know, I know,
anybody,
I know the perfect guy for it.
yeah.
International Andy.
Oh, Andy, yo, Andy, if you watching this, I'll ship this out to you wherever you need it. But I'm getting it out of my house, man.
I'm
Frank.
gonna set that up for sure. I'm gonna
And
set that up for sure.
Frank, that's one of my bruises, man. Um, what could I say about Frank, man? It was like, I mean, coming into the Knicks, right? I didn't have a high expectation for Frank because honestly I didn't know who he was when we picked him, and I was like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know who he was, but at that time we had Phil Jackson, and he said, this guy he fits. Frank Ntilikina fits the triangle offense well. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, let me see what this guy got. But when I went back and researched him, I'm like, damn, he was only scoring like 5 points. So I mean, my thing with Frank, right? And my thing with Frank and where everybody else with Frank can be different, but my thing with Frank was it's not the defensive side, and it's really not too much the offensive side. I think it was a little bit of both, right? It was a little bit between how we played him, the regimes that he was in at that time, the coaches that he
Hmm.
played under for that time, and his opportunity windows. Now I feel like Frank didn't take advantage of the opportunities that he had when he had to take those opportunities. Like people be like, well, he didn't have a lot of opportunities. He did. Frank had a lot of opportunities to show that he was going to be a consistent player. And what Frank does that get me mad, and it's something that
Control.
you
I know
can't,
exactly where you're going.
control. But he gets hurt every time Frank gets in a rhythm. Is it me, Tony? Tony,
No, no, I had this
every
very.
time Frank gets in a rhythm, Frank gets hurt.
I
And I'm
said the
like,
same
damn,
exact thing
bro.
on. I said the
Again?
same exact thing on NBK, and then he has to work his way back into reaching where he was
Yeah.
prior to getting hurt,
Because
and
now
then he gets hurt again.
stepped in your position.
Oh,
And you
my
get
bad.
hurt again.
My bad. No. He
With the
has to. He
same
has to work.
injury.
He has to work his way back into the rotation. Then he has to work his way back
Right.
into the form that he was in before he got hurt, and then he gets hurt again
Right.
with the same
Right.
injury.
Right.
Yeah, I had the same take.
Frank, 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 man, Frank. He's just disappointing, man. Like I'm really because I'm like most people, I was in the Frank hive. Frank was I love what Frank did for us defensively. And I always was saying, like, there was certain points of the game, I'm like, damn, why we didn't put Frank on the floor? You know what I mean? And even our playoff, our last thing when they put him in the Trey Young, and Trey Young burnt him and got to the basket and scored. And people was mad at Frank, and I wasn't. I was like, you know what?
Unfair.
Frank wasn't ready for that. He wasn't playing that game. Like he just got put in for that situation. That was real situation. But you don't put Frank in for something like that in that situation. You might as well just rock with the plays you got. And that just was it for me with Frank. I was just like, yo, I got to get off this Frank shit, man. This is never going to translate into anything. We got this player here. I don't think he ever had 30 points. Did he ever score over 25 points on our team?
I think he might have had 22.
What's his
I think it's
what's
like
his
20
what's his name?
career highs.
22?
I think it's 22.
22. Okay.
I think.
Frank had this is my thing, right? Frank had more than enough opportunities. Because we like I'm talking about when the Michael Beasley era. We had Michael Beasley and Courtney Lee and these guys, and I'm like, yo, Frank could have got in there. I mean, he was doing good with Porzingis. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted like that. They had a nice little run with Jeff Hornacek, but that was like towards like the end of the season. But then it just was like Frank had just disappeared, and our roster haven't been the best roster for years.
No, 20 was his career high.
We got 20. 20 was his career high, and I'm like, come on, Frank. I mean, he showed. You know what disappointed me this year? Because this year he showed the most potential to me. He was shooting like 40 from what 40%, 40 over high
47,
40s
I
from
think.
three.
It might have
47,
been. It might have been 47.
47 from three. You know what I'm saying? And I was seeing Frank out there. I'm like, yo, Frank is looking all right, man. He's turning the corner. And we all watch FIBA Frank. We all know what he does in the Olympics and shit. We know what he does in the Olympics. But we don't get that same Frank. And I feel like it's time to cut ties with him, man. We cut ties with him. It's not even time. It's like we cut ties with him. It's like it's over,
Well,
man. And
I mean,
that's
you talk about FIBA
so,
Frank. What about FIBA Fournier?
oh, FIBA Fournier is different. Nobody in the NBA can guard him. Yo, we can get that same player.
He gave USA 30 in a win.
You hear me? Yo, let him carry over a little bit of that energy. man, that would be crazy.
And they got a couple games under their belt together in Boston.
Yeah. I mean, no, they didn't play together. Kemba, they played like what, 2 or 3 games, right?
Yeah, just a couple games under their belt together.
Yeah, 2 games, yeah. 2 or 3 games, yeah. That's good. That's still something. That's still, But Frank broke my heart, man. Damn, I could be here all day with the Bruises, man.
Well, I tell you what,
I
man.
could be here all day.
Let's set up a part 2 because
Let's do a part 2 because I could be here
I do
literally
gotta
for
get to my daughter.
5 hours.
We gotta watch Space Jam. We watched the new Legacy, but we gonna watch the original now. And
The new joint, yeah. I just did that with the kids. We watched the first one, then we watched
and
we watched the
Monday
second one. Let me say something about that. LeBron James is playing in Space Jam, but turned the Lakers into the Monsters. How is that? How can we respect that? Now I'm serious.
That's a bar right there.
You feel me?
You got that written
You
down
played Space Jam, but you turned it. I'm about to write that down. That's a shot. I'm taking a shot at. I'm gonna throw that out there.
That's a bar right there. Oh, you froze up?
He turned the Lakers into the Monster. You back though. We back.
Hilarious.
But yo.
So me and my daughter, we doing a movie review on both Space Jams on Monday. So look out for that. That'll be
the first one
premiere on Knicks and Bruises. So I know it don't got nothing to do with the Knicks,
that's
but
a fact.
I gotta bring my baby on.
No. We gotta have content rolling. So that's what's up.
But I appreciate you coming on, man. We'll set up a part 2.
Yo, thanks for having me on, man. And we're gonna do the Bruises when I come back, man. We're gonna knock that out, man. Salute to you, salute to everybody, all my Knicks, all my diehard Knicks fans, all 72, all 82 when we play 82 games, man. Salute, man. Knicks nothing. I got two Knicks albums out. If y'all need some entertainment, the first album I dropped this year is called Knicks Tape. It's on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, YouTube, any streaming platform you got is on there. And then I dropped the Big 15, hosted by Chuck D. We got Sim from Number Knicks is on there. He gave us a drop. We got Legion of Knicks, Gurmo's on there. We got Die Hard. We got Evil on there. We got what is Jay Boogie? I think he be on Knicks Fan TV. He like the closer and all that. So salute to those guys, man. And produced by Evergreen. Y'all know Evergreen be on Nothing But Knicks. So yeah, man, be on the lookout for those albums, man. If y'all want to rock something, the Nothing But Knicks intro. I am that guy, just in case y'all was wondering, you know what I mean? And we got more of that coming. Me and Sam working behind the scenes now, so we got something special planned for y'all. But yo, thanks for having me on, Tony, man.
That's what's up, man. Knicks and Bruises. Shout out to the chat. Drugs only. Your black is tired. Salute. Don't go nowhere.